Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota in the US, and I'm here to bring you a fun, special live paper crafting class that's all around mystery stamping. So basically, what is mystery stamping, Rachel? I give you written clues and I read through them so I can try to explain them, but I don't have any visuals for you. Maybe I'll throw in a visual here and there, but the idea is to try to understand what I'm saying and reading to you and create a similar type of project from the supplies in your own craft room. So you'll want to, first of all, move yourself to your craft room. Second of all, check out the list that is in the description of the video. I have it up by the night before. I don't know. I can't guarantee a time because sometimes I get caught up in family stuff and I don't get it up there until like 11 p.m. or whatever. But when you wake up in the morning, the day of a mystery stamping event, you should be able to look in the description of the video and gather your supplies. So check it out now if you haven't yet. Good morning, everybody. Thanks. I'm wearing a different, it's not a topper. I'm wearing a wig today. I decided to get gutsy and try something new. Those of you that follow my channel know that I have been experiencing lots of hair loss lately. I have androgenetic alopecia. I think I pronounced it correctly this time. Anyways, it's a form of hair loss and it's inevitable when it's hereditary. So I have done things medical wise to prevent the loss, but I had too many side effects. So I'm letting it go and I'm having fun with wigs and toppers. And this is my latest. Well, I've had it for a while. I just haven't worn it publicly on one of my videos yet. This is the Raquel Welch. Let's see if I can remember the name. Raquel Welch. And it is I'll have to look it up. I'll put it in the description of the video after, but I decided to wear it last minute. So right now you'll see some topper information in there. Let's move on to crafting. Okay, so crafting. And that gave you some time, right? While I was diverging into that other information about my hair. Hopefully that gave you some time to take a peek at the description because you'll want to gather those supplies. It is March 8th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Central Time as I'm coming to you live. And thank you to those 74 of you right now that I'm seeing that are live with us. If you log into your Google account or your YouTube account, you can join in on the live conversation. If you're watching after the live, please comment away and let me know that you at least watched. You know, you can say watched afterwards or whatever. But I love it when people comment because it helps me to get to know my audience, my viewers, and just have more community when we do that. So thank you. A big hello to all of you who are coming back time and time again to my channel, and a big hello to those of you that are new. We do not have a moderator today. Normally I have Trisha Josephs on the YouTube live with us, but because I am going to not really be focusing on my desktop and trying to teach as I go, I should be able to catch the comments. You might see me looking over here because it's easier for me to read the comments from my computer than it is to read them below my image here on my iPad because there's a shorter space on the iPad. But I am paying attention to what you're sharing. At least once I get going, I will be. Right now I'm working on the introduction here. But yes, we're going to have some fun. Let me tell you, let's see, it's a fun card layout. So this is how it works. I'm going to guide you through a series of clues, and we call them clues. Thank you, Sharon Armstrong, for the ideas of doing mystery stamping. So she calls them clues, which is what I'm doing. And then you take and you follow those clues or steps to create what you think is the project. You're going to see if you can come up with a similar style at the end, but keep in mind that this is the first time you're doing this, so please use your scrap products. Don't use like your fanciest paper. Do you know what I mean? Use some things that you'll look at the end and say, I'm throwing it away. You know what I mean? Because you might mess up. You might. It might be a challenge. In fact, I have to tell you that this particular project that I'm presenting with you today, my team member, Amanda Martin, had given to me as the idea. So what she did, we had this swap a while back, and she had her swaps wrapped up in tissue paper, and then she had a set of directions for me to go through and she said, see if you can follow these mystery stamping clues to create a similar project to what you see in my swap. And she said, I did this for you because I wanted to give you the gift of time. And I thought that was like the sweetest thing ever. So she came up with this project. I tweaked it a little bit because I wasn't understanding some of the directions as much as I thought I would, because I messed up big time. The first time I made it, it looked bad. And I have empathy for those of you that risk doing these mystery stamping projects. They're tough. They're challenging. I'm a visual person. I like to touch and feel also. So I'm a tactile learner and a visual learner. So it can be challenging for those of us like that. But if you are someone like my husband, who is really good at, with words and reading and understanding the written language, you would probably have a much easier time than someone like me. So on that note, hopefully you're still gathering your supplies and cutting them. Let's see what else I want to tell you. My website, by the way, is stampyourartout.com. Now, if you are one of my blog subscribers, you may have already visited that blog post because it went live about 10 minutes ago. And if you know, as you're reading to stop before you get to the pictures below, then you are on the mystery stamping event. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm presenting that blog post at the same time that this video is going live. And then those of you that want to, you can give yourself hints by looking at the actual pictures of the finished projects. So you can see what you're supposed to be making if you really are getting frustrated along the way, okay? So please visit my website if you want to. The direct link is in the description of the video, and that way you can cheat, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. You can take a peek at what the finished cards that I'm going to share with you at the end will look like. Now, if you don't want to cheat, that's a harsh word, isn't it? Then just hang on to the video. Let's start watching away and listening to the clues, and let's give this a go. If you have questions along the way, make them stand out. Place an emoji next to your comment as you go. Make them in capital letters if I'm still not seeing your question, and then ask them at the end, because I'm going to try to take a pause at the end and see if there were any questions that I didn't get answered, okay? But I will try really hard to pay attention to the comments pretty soon here. Let me see if there's anything else I forgot to share. Okay, I think we're good. All right, so I'm not going to show you the finished projects. You can peek at the blog post if you want to, but we're going to go to my computer. Last time we went to my desktop, but I'm going to go to my computer screen, and we have 99 with us right now. Crazy, fun. Are you guys ready? This is going to be fun. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to present up on the screen for you, though, is going to be, and you know what, I might have to shift this over a little bit. Or maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll make my picture smaller, so hang on a minute. There we go. I'm going to put me up really high in the corner. This will work. Okay. Normally my head's a little bit bigger. And today it feels super big because I'm wearing a wig. Okay, so I'm starting with this screen so that you can go ahead and collect your materials if you haven't already found the description of the video. Sometimes that's hard to do, especially when you're on like a small device or a phone or a portable device or whatever. When you're on the computer, it's sometimes easier to find that description of the video. But yes, learn where your description of your videos are so that when we do maybe another mystery stamping, I don't know, sometimes I go back and forth. Should I do this again or should I not? Hey, Dana, you're actually on the live, so please join in with us. It's going to be fun. Is a wig easier to deal with than a topper? It depends. I find that I have 3 wigs, and this one is probably my itchiest one right now, and it's because I also have my other hair, and I don't wear like one of the it's a long, complicated thing. There's so much to learn about wigs and toppers, but you can put these, I forgot what they're called, but it's like a netting around your head to hold your hair down, and I don't do that because I have too much still, which is unbelievable, but it's really too much in length. It's not really too much in thickness, so it's what you want to do, right? And the more I lose my hair, the more I think my toppers are harder to conceal within my hair. So yes, you are live with us now, Dana. I love it. So you haven't missed a thing. And again, if you have not gathered your materials yet, I have them on the screen for you. Really, the most important things are going to be your tools. Oops, let me find my cursor here. Your tools and your papers. The stamps, ink, embellishments, you can decide that later. I would just pick your favorite designer paper right now. That's the one thing that you want to start with. That's why I listed it at the top. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Checking through. Now I'm actually paying attention to comments, you guys. So thanks, Patricia. Raquel. I know, it's Raquel Welch. I love that name. Sometimes people call me Raquel or Rochelle, but it's Rachel. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I think they're all elegant words or elegant names. Hi, Virginia. It's a surprise. So, yes, I sometimes go live a second time during the week, and it's either a Friday or a Saturday. Oftentimes it's a Friday morning because the weekends are a little bit harder for me to fit one in. But I like to throw a weekend one in there once in a while when I can, because a lot of us work during the day, and to catch a live during the day, which is when I tend to do mine, is harder for those people. So I hope that you'll stick around if you're catching this on your Saturday morning. All right, so you have gathered those items, and then the clue number 1 is basically to prepare the measurements. I have highlighted the measurements in blues and greens, and the reason why I did that for you this time is because I wanted the metric measurements and the imperial measurements to be readable to what you need and not get lost up in them. So I thought if I highlight them, then you only have to focus on one color or the other as you're reading through my paragraphs and as you're reading through these measurements here. Some of you, again, have already prepared your things ahead of time. So you're sitting back and having coffee while the rest of us are like scrambling to get our stuff, right? So go into your crafting space, gather up your subtle and your dominant designer paper pieces. So again, you had to have designer paper, and you want to pick it from the same pack, okay? So it coordinates. So you could take and use, I don't know, let's just breeze through a catalog and see. Designer papers. Actually, it's harder for me to look in there right now. Let's see if I can find it here. So you could pick something like the Mediterranean Blooms paper, which I used recently in a blog post. Oh my gosh, that paper is so stunning. Perennial Lavender. That one has some real subtle designs and real dominant designs. Something that has kind of a A-side, B-side type of design is best. If you're doing something like the bokeh papers, beautiful bokeh, which are real subtle, they're all very subtle, you're not going to have as much of a contrast. You want to have a contrast, okay? So your subtle designer paper is your background larger piece, and then your dominant designer paper is your tinier piece. That's going to be vertical, okay? It's going to be in portrait style. So you want it to be wide, small, but tall, big, okay? All right, and then your colored card base, once you've picked your designer paper, then you're going to pick your colored card base, and that is going to coordinate with your subtle paper. So if you're using, say, like a grayish paper, maybe you want to pick a gray cardstock. If you're using a paper that has soft seafoam in it, pick soft seafoam. You want it to blend in, at least for this first time. You're going to see a sample that I made that is a whole different design. It's my third one that I'm going to show you at the end. So I have 3 different finished samples, and then I also have Amanda's to share with you too. But you're going to see those, and the first 2 that you're going to see from me, it really helps to have your subtle paper blend into your colored cardstock, or be close to it, you know, so it doesn't stand out too much. Your colored card base, colored card base, yes. And then your light neutral would be either a vanilla or a white. So if you are using a designer paper that has a vanilla base to it, you want to probably pick vanilla, okay? All right. Hopefully you're getting those cut. And you see that under the light neutral, I just put a strip or a shape or whatever. That's later on. You don't have to pick that now. That's just for your sentiment piece that's going to go on the front of your card. Your ribbon, you want to have coordinate with some color that's maybe in your dominant layer of designer paper. We're going to move on. Diane's like, I need coffee first, then I can make cards. Then you know what? Just sit back and enjoy, okay? Have fun watching. If you are not in your crafting space, if you are not somebody who wants to try this, just sit back and enjoy, see what it's like. If this frustrates you, it could be that you're like me, that you're a visual and tactile learner. You need to touch and feel and see more so than just read. So it can be challenging, but I'm going to try my best to explain things in words and my verbal language, my written language to you. So if you like the challenge, give it a go. And again, use papers that you don't feel bad about throwing away. Okay. After you've gone through this, you guys, after you've done mystery stamping the first couple times through, especially getting used to a particular demonstrator or teacher or whatever that's doing it with you, you get used to the way they explain things and it gets easier and easier, just so you know. But if you're one of my regular viewers and this isn't for you, just enjoy. And Crafting with Cats said, push the like button, even though, right? She didn't say even though, but she's saying give it a thumbs up already, and we haven't even gone through it too much. But yay, thank you so much for chiming in about that. I love it if you are able to support my channel with likes or subscribes. All right, are we ready? Clue 2, and they've already been up there, so you can actually read through them now ahead of time, but let me tell them to you. Here we go. We're going to position our base cardstock. So you know that main cardstock color that's going to coordinate with your subtle? That's the one we're working with now. Position that base cardstock piece in your Stampin' Trimmer. And I mentioned the Stampin' Up! Trimmer because that's the one I'm used to, and it has a scoring blade, okay? So if you don't have that kind of a trimmer, then just imagine these steps with the trimmer that you have. Hopefully it'll work. But you're going to position it, and it's going to go up towards the top of your trimmer. If you're somebody who likes to push your cardstock down to the bottom and do your trimming, work with it at the top this time, just because it's going to be easier for me to explain everything. So you're going to put it in landscape orientation. That's long and wide. At the top of your trimmer, so that the long edge is touching that top edge of the trimmer. And then you're going to score, okay? We're going to first put our score line at 4 1/4 inches. Now on the next 2 score lines, don't lift your paper after you do them. I'm telling that to you now because we actually did this same mystery stamping with my team, and I could see the looks on their faces when I said, and don't move it, because everybody moved it. So after the next score line, leave your paper in place. Don't move it. Okay, it's going to be easier. Hi, Edith. All the way from Germany, so it must be like around 5-ish right there right now. So dinner is going to be served soon. All right, so here we go. It's positioned in your trimmer. You've scored it. Okay, it's landscape in your trimmer up towards the top, and you've scored it at 4 1/4 inches. Now we're going to slide it over, and we're going to score it at 8 1/2. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say, well, you know what? I'm going to have to use one or the other measurements, and I'm used to imperial, so I am going to be calling out the imperial measurements. But if you're like Edith and you're watching in Germany and you're used to metric, feel free to use metric. Just read the paper as you go, okay? So slide the card base over and score at 8 1/2, but don't move it after, okay? While keeping the card base in this spot, position your cutting blade now. So now we're going to bring the cutting blade in, and we're going to bring it to the 2-inch mark. So you're looking at that long ruler that's on the arm of your trimmer, and you're going to position your blade at 2 inches. This is why I say have your paper up towards the top of your trimmer, because if you have it down, then your 2 inches are going to be like, what? Where's the 2 inches? So have it up. Have that paper up. Okay, position it 2 inches. And now you're going to cut from that 2-inch spot all the way up and off your paper. Okay? All right. So thumbs up if we're doing fine. Okay, like fine so far. Tell me if it's going well. Give me the thumbs up if you're doing great. Or it doesn't have to be an emoji. It can be yes, or fine, or doing great, or you can write a whole long full sentence if you want to. Hi, Mary. We got Georgia, Germany. Where else is everybody from? Washington, Kentucky, where the weather is beautiful. Virginia, I'm so jealous. Actually, we're having pretty decent weather lately as far as Minnesota goes. So, love it, love it, love it. All right, Yep, thank you. Got some thumbs up going. That's great. So I just want to tell you again, because I forgot to say this at the beginning, your card, it was written in the clues, but your card is going to be a portrait or up and down, like vertical looking card with the opening on the right hand side. So if you're looking at a card base, and hopefully you can see my image real small here. If you're looking at a card base, it's going to be portrait, up and down, not landscape. When we're done with the whole thing, okay? And it's going to open to the right. Okay? All right. So it's not a fun fold. I mean, it's a fun fold, but it's not a fun fold. It's a unique card. We'll just say that. All right. Verbal directions are great. Thank you for going slower. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Me too. All right, we're doing great. Super. Oh, I love it. You guys are telling me where all the places you're from, Maryland and Oregon and Florida. Awesome. Okay, here we go. We're going to keep going then. And you can obviously work ahead because you can see that last paragraph. We're going to slide it over one more time. And again, don't move it after you score it. Okay, so slide the card base over a little bit more, and now we're going to score at 10 3/4 inches. Don't move it after. Score it and leave it there. While keeping the cardstock in place, you're going to position your cutting blade now at 3 inches, at the 3-inch mark. So it's a little bit further down on your card. And from there, you're going to cut from that 3-inch point up to the top. Good. I'm good, she says. Is that CEP? CEP 623 GM. Thank you. I love it. So nice of you to give us metric. Oh, good, Edith. Thank you. Did you prepare your pieces with the imperial measurements then, Edith? Or maybe you didn't even prepare. Maybe you're just watching. I don't know. But I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I have time to do metric and sometimes I don't. And this time I did. So I wanted to throw them in there. How is the highlighting of the measurements working for all of you? Is that something that distracts you, bothers you, or is that good? Like, let's say I were to take and let's just do this here. Let's just take those out for a minute and then I'll go back to, so does that make it easier to look at? Or, and then I'll hit the back button here. Is that better? So I'd love to know if one or the other is preferred. Sep Aka Cindy Penzian. Oh, Sep Aka Cindy Penzian. That's an interesting name if that's how you say your name. Wow, that's unique and fun. Love it. Tangi's got the thumbs up. We're doing great. I'm going to move on if you guys are okay with that. Okay, here we go. All right, next one. Clue 3. We're going to keep our card base, positioned in the same way that you had it in the trimmer. So don't take it out and move it all around. Put it back in there so your score lines are still in order, okay? Just because it's going to be easier for me to explain things. With a pencil now, so lift up the arm of your trimmer. With a pencil, you're going to mark the bottom of both of those cuts. So you're going to mark where you had that 2-inch cut start and where you had the 3-inch. So again, with the pencil, mark the bottom of the 2 lightly so that you can see them. Oh, I forgot to put 2 cut marks. See, this is why I have it on the computer. The bottom of the 2 cut marks. I got smart, keeping it on the computer so that we can make corrections as we go. With a pencil, mark the bottom of the 2 cut marks lightly so that you can see them and erase them later. So don't like dig your pencil in there, you know. You want to be able to erase them. Oh, got it, AKA. Okay, got it. Let me go back and read her Sep, AKA Cindy. I got it, AKA. Had you put that in capital letters, I think I would have caught onto that a little quicker. Thank you so much. Who was that explained that? Louise did. Louise, I love it. You're so sweet to make that easier for me to understand. You like the highlighting. Highlights are better. Okay, good to know. Keeps it focused. Awesome. Highlighting exclamation mark by Nancy. This is great. Okay. Okay, good. I thought it was helpful too. So I'm glad that you guys felt it was so that I could maybe make this easier, right? All right, now we're going to take a ruler and a pencil and we're going to connect those 2 points with a very light line because again, this way you can erase it. You're going to connect those 2 points. You're going to use your scissors or what we call snips at Stampin' Up! To cut from the right edge of your card. So now as you're looking at it in the trimmer, that little 1/4 inch strip or about 1/4 inch strip that you scored on the right, okay, that's your right hand side. You're going to cut into that to the first point. That should be your 3-inch little dot, right? Okay, so you're going to cut to that first point and then you're going to use your scissors or snips or trimmer and you're going to cut along that diagonal line that you just drew to remove that upper right section of the cardstock. So we didn't draw a line out to the furthest edge of the card, but it's just a given that that's going to become a tab. So you're going to trim to that 3-inch little spot, just a little bit. I mean, you only have to cut like 1/4 inch, and then you're going to cut from that 3-inch to the 2-inch, okay? Those 2 little dots that you marked. So in the end, it should appear that you have a right section cut out of that card base piece, all right? Okay, this part, this is the last sentence here. This part that you now see sticking off the right-hand side of your cardstock base is going to be a front pocket part of your card. Okay? Front pocket part of your card. All right. I love it. Cindy, yes. So she says she's known as Anu, even though she's not a grandma. Oh, that's a cute way of like calling a grandma like Anu. What language is that from? Now I want to know if you have like a different language for your main language or yeah, I want to learn. I want to learn. I love learning about the world. Here we go. We're going to move on to the next clue. Oh, good. Trudy. She also likes the highlighting and says that it's better for us old folks. The older eyes, yes, the older our eyes are, the better it is to have things differentiated sight-wise. I am finding that myself. So I think that's probably why I enjoyed the highlighting. So good to know. Here we go. Clue number 4. We are starting with the card base positioned in the same way again. And that's because it's easier for me to explain which things to move where if you keep it in that same position the whole time, right? But we're going to eventually fold it up and move it and whatever. But we need to score, or fold, I should say. We've already scored it. But we now need to fold in certain directions. So if you keep your card base still in that same landscape, long in front of you position with the cutout on the right, then it's going to make sense as I explained. Start with that card base position the same way you had it. Crease the 3 score lines. Use a bone folder to help you. The 4 1/4 becomes a mountain fold. In other words, the crease should come up towards you and the sides should fold away from you. Okay, so it becomes a mountain fold. It's coming upward at that 4 1/4 inch crease mark. That's coming up towards you. And then the other 2 become opposite. So we call them valley folds. So you're going to score so that those folds go the other way. So mountain fold, valley, valley. Okay? Once you have that done, you're going to fold completely. So you're going to flatten out to crease completely all of those fold lines, and you're going to see that your card base piece now looks like a portrait card that opens on the right with a front right pocket. Hopefully, I haven't lost anybody at this point because now it's just a matter of all the little tiny pieces as we go along, okay? The first time I did this, I got lost And so I'm hoping that you aren't. I'm hoping that I clarified some things that were questionable to me. And hopefully I haven't lost anybody. I'm seeing thumbs up again. This is good. And Laura says this is your first time watching live. It's probably because I'm on a Saturday. Or maybe you're just new to my channel. I'm not sure, but thank you for watching live. Yay. I hope you stick around. All right, so next, this portrait style card should now open on the right and have an extra extension on the front lower right that forms a pocket. Do you see how that 1/4 inch little extra extension, that's going to become a tab that tucks under. So here we go, clue number 5. And we have too much on there to read. There we go. Clue number 5. Unfold the pocket temporarily. So we're just going to bring it out of the way. Okay, so we're seeing that extension go off to the right again. It's going to floppy little extra piece off to the right. But this will allow us to see the full front of our card base folded. Okay, it's still folded. So it opens on the right hand side, but our pocket is open. We're going to adhere that 4 by 5 1/4 subtle designer paper piece to the front. And now we're going to use strong adhesive. Oh, I'm sorry, I might be going too fast. So you're going to adhere that. You can use glue. You can use any kind of adhesive that you normally add a layer to the front of your cards with, because it doesn't have to be super strong, although maybe it does. Yeah, you know what? Make it super strong. Not super strong, but because we're going to be attaching our pocket down too, we don't want that layer to come up either. So don't use a temporary adhesive, but you don't have to use like glue all over the back, I guess is what I'm saying. All right, now you're going to use a strong adhesive for the pocket. So for the pocket, you're going to glue that tab tucked under and down, and then you're also going to glue along the bottom of that pocket, because we want to be able to put things inside there without it slipping all the way through the card, right? So it says, now use strong adhesive to glue the bottom edge and the tucked tab edge of the pocket down in place. I recommend glue for this. I used tear and tape when I did this the first time, actually the second time, because my first one didn't turn out at all and I threw it in the garbage. My second one still turned out, but I wasn't pleased with it. But I used tear and tape adhesive and it's still pulling up. I think because the pocket's so narrow that my cardstock just was strong enough to keep pulling away from my papers. So I would recommend the Tombow glue or glue dots if you don't have the Tombow glue, but something really strong, maybe Seal Plus. Although Seal Plus, I want to say, is just as strong as tear and tape. My choice would be the multi-purpose liquid glue, the Tombow glue. Okay, is the pocket on the inside or on the top? It is on the top. It's a front right pocket, so it's going to be glued down on top of, thank you, Cats, for asking that. It's going to be glued on top of the designer paper we just put down, that subtle designer paper. All right. First mystery stamping, you're late, but we'll watch from the beginning after you're finished. Okay, awesome. And Tangi is putting her thumb up. She's doing well. She's caught up. What does red line mean? Jill, you wrote red line. Don't know what that means. Hopefully we're still recording and doing great. I'm seeing my iPad and it looks like we have okay broadcasting going on. So tell me what red line means. Oh, is that a type of glue? Maybe that's a type of glue. My first mystery came in late. I'm lost, but we'll watch the replay. And you know what? If you guys don't want to have the finished cards exposed to you at the end, you could watch all the way through until the end, hop off, and then watch the replay and try to join in if you want that challenge. If you want. Okay. Are we ready? Here we go. Next clue. And there are 10 clues, by the way. So we're on clue number 6. Does that help? Like, when are these clues going to end? If anybody's getting frustrated, they might be pulling their hair out. Oh my God. All right, clue 6. It's a type of sticky strip similar to tear and tape. Oh, I used to buy that before I was a demonstrator. Ah, yes. So that one's a little bit stickier is what you're saying. Okay, good to know. All right, here we go. Time to work on a separate piece. That's what it says. So you're going to put your card base aside and we're going to pull out our other designer paper. This one is the 1 3/4 by 4 3/4 dominant design. And we're going to position it vertically in portrait orientation, and we're going to punch a hole at the top. So you want it tall and narrow and punch a hole at the top. You're going to punch a hole so it's centered, and it's about 1/4 of an inch in so that you know it's not going to tear. So you want to have it far enough in where when we add our ribbon, because we're going to add ribbon through here, that it's not going to tear. So about 1/4 of an inch in from the top, centered, punch that hole. Your first mystery stamping was mine in November, and your card was a mess. It opened to the left. I love it. Oh gosh, you know what? I think I'm getting better at explaining too. I'm really trying not to do visuals because that's not the point of mystery stamping. Like, to have visuals in there is really, really like counterproductive for what mystery stamping is all about. You're supposed to do it with words and, you know, verbal language, not with any visuals. So I hope I'm getting better, and maybe Tangi, you and I are just getting more in sync too. Who knows? All right, next. So after you've punched the hole, we're on clue number 7. This part confused some of my team members when we did this mystery stamping project together. I could see a lot of rolling eyes and laughter and, you know, responses that made me think, oops, they might have made a mistake. So hopefully I've made this clue a little bit easier. For those of you that are in my team and watching, can you chime in just to say hello? Because I'd love to know if you're watching this along with me. Maybe you're just being quiet in the background and you're seeing how the clues have changed since we did our event. But it really helps for my team members to be my guinea pigs. I love you all. All right, so this clue number 7, we're going to add some adhesive, seal, tear and tape, something that's not a wet adhesive. Could be the red line glue, but you want to add something that's flat. And I feel like red line had a little thickness to it, if I recall. But yeah, add a flat, dry adhesive, not a wet one, just below the hole on the back side of that paper piece. So you've punched your hole. Now you're going to turn it over and you're going to put some adhesive right behind underneath that hole. Next, you're going to feed the ribbon through. You have a 2-inch piece of ribbon and you have a much longer piece of ribbon. Grab your short one, and your 2-inch piece of ribbon is going to go through that hole from the front, and it's going to connect to the adhesive on the back inside. So you're going in from the front, and then you're going to press it down onto that adhesive on the inside. Okay? And that's pretty much what I said here. Ribbon through the hole from the front, connect it to this adhesive, and then you're going to add more adhesive in that same area. Okay, you can put it on top of the ribbon you just stuck down, or, you know, below it, whatever. It doesn't matter because it's going to be against another piece of paper eventually, but you just need to have some more adhesive there because we're going to bring that other end into it. So how do we do that? From the front, you're going to loosely loop the ribbon over the top. Okay, so you're looking at the front of it again. You have your ribbon sticking through it, and you're going to now take that ribbon end that wasn't tacked down, and you're going to loop it over the top of your paper and stick it to that other amount of adhesive you just put on. Okay, so now you should have a small loop of ribbon at the top of your designer paper. And you don't want to have it too tight because you don't want it to, you know, irritate your designer paper, but it can be firm, but just not to the point where it's kind of scrunching your designer paper. And if you have it loose, then it's kind of like more noticeable. And for this particular layer that we're doing for the card, you kind of like your ribbon to be a little noticeable because some of you might even know what it is right now. By this point, you might know. Okay, thanks, Sue. Okay, and again for the future, if you're coming in late, just so that you know, if I ever have a mystery stamping event, the night before, and I can't guarantee a time, but the night before, I finish up my blog post connected to it. I finish up all those things so that they're ready to roll in the morning. I can wake up and I can get ready. I can, eat breakfast and not have to worry about stressing out. So in the morning of Mystery Stamping Day, you should be able to wake up and see the description of the video with the initial measurements and supplies that you would need. There's also a link to the blog post, and I said this earlier, so if any of you are getting frustrated, you can go ahead and peek, but there's a link to my blog post, which is already live, and at the very bottom are images of the cards that have this same type of fold pattern, okay? So you can take a peek and help yourself if you need to. Oh, good, Mary. She said, I participated when we did it as a team, but you're following much better. It's helping. Okay, good. And Mary, I think I tweaked my directions to work a little bit better with what we had not had as clear the first time through. So good, good, good. All right. So small loop of ribbon, and we are ready to go on to clue number 8. Here we go. Does the width of the ribbon matter? Not really. I have one that is wide, but it can be scrunched through my 1/4-inch hole on one card. I have twine on one of my cards, but I did it differently. And then I have I want to say it's 5/8 inch ribbon. And on another one I have 3/8. So it's up to you. That I didn't specify that because I want you to pick a ribbon that works with your color of your dominant paper. So, okay. So clue number 8 says, adhere this dominant designer paper strip to your 2 by 5 inch cardstock. That's easy. It's a bookmark. Did you guys figure that out beforehand? You probably did. We have a pocket on the front of the card. We're making a strip. It's a bookmark. So it's a card that has a gift within. So it's not really like a fun fold card. I mean, it doesn't open in a fun way. It just has an extra accessory to it. So that's why I didn't call it a fun fold. And Diane asks if I'm going to have a PDF after. No, not for my mystery stamping. Mystery stamping I do different than my classes. Because this really isn't a class where I'm teaching things, I'm more or less doing a fun event, right? This is more of like a bonus type event. So I do not have a PDF for this one. But when you go to my blog post, you will see the same clues that I have here, although I think I added some words that I might have missed adding on the blog post. Anyways, those same clues are in the blog post. So first what you see when you get there is a video. And then below that are the initial measurements, the clues, and then at the very bottom are images of the cards that I'm going to share with you real soon. So they're in order. So in case you do visit my blog post, you can read through the clues and not watch the video. You can copy the clues if you are a fellow demonstrator and you want to do this with your team or whatever. The clues are there for you though. They're all written out. Okay. There aren't any pictures of my card? You're on my blog. That's interesting. Well, we will visit the blog post after I get through these clues and I'll go peek. Maybe I thought I saved it. It should have been saved. Eek. Are there just spaces? Maybe try this, Elaine. Try opening in a different browser just in case you have like a clearing browsing history or cache issue. You know what I mean? Does anyone else? Well, I don't want to ask because then you'll all go there and look. Okay, let's move on. Clue number 8. We already said that. We've got clue number 9. Here we go. Clue number 9. You're going to grab the longer length of ribbon now. And this one, a lot of my teammates giggled too. So I could tell that I wasn't explaining this one right. So I had to totally rewrite this clue. Hopefully this makes sense. You're going to grab your longer length of ribbon. You're going to position the middle of it so it's vertical on the inside of your card. So open up your card, place it in there vertically so that the ribbon is in there, the middle part of the ribbon. Okay? Then you're going to wrap those two ends around the front left area of your card. close your card and then wrap those two ends around the front left area of your card. Tie it together firmly with a knot. So basically we're wrapping the ribbon around, tying it, okay? You don't want to tie it around the whole card or you won't be able to open it. Just tie it around that front part that opens and closes. Don't adhere the ribbon if you can help it. I know sometimes we have fingers that don't really work well when we're trying to tie a ribbon on our own, but try not to adhere the ribbon. If you're going to adhere the ribbon down to help you tie it in a knot, then I suggest kind of visualizing where your sentiment's going to go and then tying it in that approximate section, okay? You'll see after I share the cards. You'll want to be able to shift where the knot sits. Then you're going to shift the ribbon so that it lies near the left edge. Okay, you're going to make sure it's far off to the left where the card folds, and you're going to trim the ends of the ribbon. Donna says there's no pictures either. I'm having, you know what, there was another post that had some picture image issues. I'm having some blog issues lately. I'm not sure what's happening. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're on clue 10, and then I will go back there and I'll try to check it out because I can't do it while I'm using the computer here to show you the clues. So clue number 10. If you have an inside sentiment, you're going to stamp it onto your 4 by 5 1/4 inch neutral paper. This is one of the neutral papers that we prepared earlier, and that's going to go on the inside. You're going to adhere this layer to the inside of your card. Now, if you don't have a sentiment yet and you're just doing the core of your card, you can refrain from adhering it if you want to. Just slip it inside your card, set it aside. You're also going to be stamping your front sentiment on your strip or shape that you had punched out or die cut or whatever on that other piece of neutral. And that's going to get attached to the front of your card on or near the pocket area under the bookmark. We're going to shift the knot of the ribbon so it's in alignment with that front sentiment, and then we're going to add the imagery, die cuts, embellishments. So this last clue is basically pull your card together if you like it. If you don't like it, throw it in the trash. No, keep it for a while because you want to learn from those mistakes, right? So if you made any mistakes, hang on to it. But I will show you my second version, which I didn't like enough to decorate. So I actually made, like I told you earlier, I did this because these clues were given to me by Amanda Martin, my team member Amanda Martin. And I went through the mystery stamping with her clues and messed up big time on the first time around. I threw it in the trash. My second one I have to show you, but I'm not proud of it. And I didn't finish decorating it. I just have like the skull of it, okay? It's just like the base part of it, okay? Okay. And she got the idea. I just want to give credit to Deb Joy Smeek of Delight of My Art. I will copy this right now, and then we're going to add this link. Oops. Let's see if we can do this without... There we go. Copy. I'm going to add this into the comments of the video right now, okay? So now that I've taken you away from my computer screen, I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to check out my blog post too. So there, I've just entered the link. Now I'm going to go to my blog post. You guys are saying that my photos aren't in there. That's so sad because I added them. I'm going to click the save button again and see if that makes a difference. All right, and then we're going to visit it, but let's first do this. I'm going to bring you to the desktop. You guys ready to see my versions? Okay, no laughing. This is my first one. All right, my first one. Thank you so much, Cindy. I'm glad that you had a good time. Great card. It worked for Tangi. Awesome, awesome, awesome. There's 116 of you viewing and watching. I know some of you can't log in because maybe you're watching on a TV screen and you can't comment on there, but we'd love to hear from you if you haven't commented and said hello yet. All right, so here is the first version, or actually it's the second one that I made. So remember the first one I threw away because I messed up. This is my second one, and it's not decorated or embellished or whatever. It's just got the papers. And from this one, I decided this paper should have been my bookmark. This should have been my background. It's a very busy looking card because of the papers I chose. And the ribbon blends in more with this, so your eye really goes more to this area than it does to this. And I wanted your eye to go more towards the bookmark. So here's my bookmark. Whoops. Oh, and I used tear and tape, so it's not staying stuck down. And my bookmark keeps getting stuck in the tape. But yeah, so I've pressed this down so many times to try to make it stick, and it's not sticking. So I wanted you to learn from that mistake and not use tear and tape. But yeah, this is a bookmark pocket, and it opens this way. So if your card is similar, then you can see that you've done it right. Now, here are my finished versions, knowing what the card was supposed to look like. This is the first one I want to show you. I'm going to zoom in with my screen here. There we go. Okay. So this is the first one that you should have seen in the blog post, and it's not showing. I don't know. Can you guys go there now and see if it's working? I'm going to check it out. I'm going to go there. Let's go there now. I'm going to do a refresh. I'm going to bring you over to my computer screen. All right, here's my website, stampyourartout.com. And if we go here and we click on mystery stamping and we scroll through the clues, so this is what it looks like. Oh, good. Good. I wonder if I just didn't click save, because I swear, you guys, I was working on this till 11 o'clock last night. So I might have forgotten to click save. Sorry about that. All my blog subscribers are getting a post with no photos in it. You're a TV viewer? Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you for logging in somewhere else so that you could chime in and say hello. All right, we're going to go back to the desk. All right, here we go. That's so funny. Oh my goodness sake. That's probably what I did, you guys. I probably thought I was posting it and I forgot to click save. All right. Yay. You see them now? Wow, none of you could have cheated this time. That's amazing. And you did it. Okay, good. You like the black one? Oh, good. All right. Oh, I forgot to mention to erase the pencil. Yes, you're right. Okay. All right, here we go. So this particular card uses the striped iridescent ribbon. This is that 5/8" ribbon. It's so pretty. And when I laid it against the black paper, I could see the blues and greens kind of popping out at me. So that's why I took Blends markers. I used Pool Party Granny Apple Green markers, and I colored lightly in those leaves. So I used the lightest marker of each, colored lightly to fill in those leaves. This paper, by the way, is the, and I don't have a ton of it left, but it is the, because I've been making some swap cards with it, Botanical Textures designer papers. There's a lot of pretty papers in here that are no longer because I've used them all up, but you can check them out here. These are leftover square pieces from it. Really, 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 really pretty stuff. Black and white, and so you can add your own colors to it. Botanical Textures, the stamp set that I used is Textured Notes. I used this sentiment and then this one on the inside. And I'm not sure if I stamped the inside or not, but let's take a peek at the inside. Oh, I put a designer paper strip on there, which I kind of wish I would have added color to, just like I had here, so it kind of blended better, but maybe I can pull it off and add another one. All right, yours is finished except for the sentiment, and it turned out right. I'm so happy, you guys. I must have done a much better job at giving directions than I have in the past. This is good. All right, so tying that knot, and that way you can, like I said, you can adjust your ribbon. You can move it to where your sentiment lies. You can bring it over to the left. Sometimes it takes a third hand to help hold down ribbon, though, when you're tying knots. So if you have to glue it down ahead of time, that's totally fine. So you see how the focal point becomes the bookmark rather than the background in a card like this versus a busier look like that, okay? All right, the next card. The next one is going back to those pretty papers that are the Wildflower birthday papers. Okay, so I decided to give it another go with the Wildflower birthday, but I chose a very, very subtle background paper and then a dominant one for my bookmark. And this is where I use that really wide ribbon, but it cinches down to fit through the hole quite nicely. And it's a birthday type of card, so I wanted a birthday related bookmark in there. So this is the Wildflower birthday paper, and I should say ephemera because there's like little pieces of papers in there. I paired it with stamps from Attention Shoppers, so the Just For You and then this Happy Birthdays on the inside. So I thought those were fun sentiments, and I wanted something different besides the stamp set that coordinates in the suite with this, because you don't have to always use the stamp set that goes, that was sold with the papers, right? So when you buy the whole suite of Wildflower birthday, you tend to gravitate towards all of those products being used at the same time, but you can mix and match. There's lots of variations and stuff like that. These are little ephemera pieces from the paper because there's a couple of sheets where you get little punch out pieces. And then on the inside, I fussy cut around one of the cakes from that paper, stuck that down and stamped the happy birthday. Night of Navy ink, soft seafoam for my card base piece. This ribbon is called Gold Open Weave Trim. To find the name of a ribbon, by the way, you have to look at both sides of your spool. This is the color and this is the name. All right, just like on this other one over here. Here's the color, iridescent, and here's the name, so iridescent stripe trim. Just in case you didn't know that, kind of cool. So there is my pocket, and I love how this card still looks very full because of the leaves that I had kind of going beyond that pocket a bit. It looks really full even without that bookmark on the front. The next card is one where I went outside the box more. Actually, I went a little outside the box on this one in that I cut this paper a little wider to get all of my cakes to show a bit better. Okay, is the bookmark loop supposed to stick up? It's up to you, Mary. Totally up to you. On this one, if I flatten this down, you can see just a little of it sticking up. Same thing here. There's maybe a little bit more of it sticking up. So it's up to you if you want to have some ribbon extending off of your bookmark or not. Okay. You needed a bookmark card idea. Great. I'm glad. I'm glad this helped you out, Tina. Use reverse tweezers to hold the ribbon while you tie. Yes, yes. Some of you have learned tricks of the trade, right? Love it. She says she uses that reverse ribbon tweezers to hold it so that she can tie her knot. So you probably cinch it, put that tweezers down on top of it. It has to be a pretty strong tweezers, and then you tie the rest of your knot. That's a great idea. A PDF of the clues would be nice. You don't need the PDF in that you can just take and copy what I have on my blog post. Just do a copy and paste. That's all you need to do. So less work for me. I hope you appreciate that. If you can just copy and paste, because that's all it is. It's the same clues. Okay, that's all I did to put it into my blog was I copied and pasted. To do a PDF would require like 10 extra steps and probably another half hour of my time. I'm trying to work smarter and not harder lately. Yeah, lots of stuff going on in the world, in my life, I should say. Not the world as a whole, but there is, but I guess I'm referring to my health and trying to do less right now. Okay, so this one, let's explain this one. This one's very unique. Okay, take a peek at this. You can see already my pocket is straight across. So I cut to 3 inches for both of those starting points. So 3 inches up, 3 inches up. That's how I got my pocket to go straight across like I wanted it. And I mean, had it been angled, it still would have worked with a tree trunk. But this looks like a little tree stump, but then when you put this pocket in, it blends in with the hedgehog putting his little hands over the top. So I sort of wanted that hedgehog to be kind of encapsulating that little ledge here. And the tree trunk itself looks like it's now part of the leaves up here, which make it now become a tree, a full tree. So that's why I added the green twine. And the green twine is from this pack called the Natural Tones Linen Thread. So I thought about not having ribbon up here and instead just having a little bit more green. You could do that. I just didn't because I have this border of Early Espresso cardstock all the way around. And I thought it would be odd to not have, I don't know, you could do that, I suppose. It might have looked okay. I also have this banner on here, but I didn't initially, but I messed up. I stamped this sentiment directly onto the bokeh paper and it was crooked. So I stamped it again onto a little flag and stuck it off to the side. So if you can manage to do that straight, and it's clear photopolymer stamps. I don't know what happened. My eyesight was tired yesterday, I guess. I made this yesterday afternoon. Here you can kind of take a peek that it doesn't go all the way through. And I did that on purpose because I knew that if I brought that grass all the way underneath this pocket, that the bookmark, when sliding it in, would maybe catch on it. And I wanted it to be able to go all the way down to here. All right. Now, how did I figure out where the hedgehog needed to sit? Well, there is a picture on my blog. So now I'm going to take you to my blog. Now that the pictures are there, I'm going to grab that. Hang on. Here it is. Okay, so let's go over to my website. So here's the clues. And again, just copy and paste all that stuff into a Word document and you're good. Here's the first card, opened, second card, opened, third card. And here's the opening of it. Forgot to show you that, sorry. There's the opening. Those words, by the way, are from Pattern of Friendship. It's a newer set. And then the hedgehog and the tree images are from the Peekaboo Forest stamp set and the matching dies called Peekaboo Forest. Okay, so that's where I got that stuff from. We're going to keep scrolling, and these are images that, like I said here, may help you see how this one came together. So the grass didn't go all the way through. I cut these pieces out ahead of time. That's what I did to line it up. So I took my hedgehog, my die that I had with a Post-it sticky note or whatever, laid down. Nothing was stuck down yet. I was just kind of holding everything in place. Put my bookmark where it would be and position where the hedgehog and the die would sit. And then I stuck that die down onto the designer paper and cut that designer paper separately, and then came back and added the black outline stamp around it because it's photopolymer, you can see through it. So added that and then realized that my ground, look at my ground down here, can you see that? My ground stopped right here and I'm like, oh boy, I got to add some grass. So I stamped onto some garden green cardstock, cut along that line, and then that part got added to the bottom right here underneath my tree trunk. Did you like that? Was that fun? Very fun, right? So that is, oh, and I want to show you Amanda's. I'm going to show you Amanda's card that she had for her swap. And I think I've shared everything then at this point. Crumb cake blends. Those were the blends I used to color the hedgehog. And I used the 2-inch circle punch for that second card sentiment. So this is Amanda's card, and she actually used the stamp set and dies that, let's see if I can find it here, the stamp set and dies that basically scream, make a bookmark card. They are from a set called For the Books. So she used this bundle, stamps and dies, to create this card. And instead of having a dominant paper, she has a dominant design on her bookmark, put her sentiment in this front pocket shaped piece, and then added her ribbon off to the side on a sort of a strip, and there's the inside of her cute card. So thank you again, Amanda, for this idea, for passing that along. And I have some corrections to make. Obviously, I feel bad for all of my blog viewers who didn't get the pictures, or blog subscribers, but hopefully they'll click on the link and they can see the pictures. But I do need to just make one correction in that post with the added words. Remember, I added those words in the clue. And I'll also make a correction in the description of my video that I'm not wearing a topper today. I'm wearing a wig, and I'll tell you which one it is in case you're interested. So good. I'm glad that you had fun. And I hope that if you are on Facebook, you will join, let's see, that is my page. Hang on. Here's my group. Stamp Your Art Out group. It's a large public group. We post in there. People can share in there. As long as they're not advertising their business, they can share their cards. And I would love it if you're a part of that group, or if you would join that group. Make sure you answer the questions, by the way, to get into the group. But if you would join that group and then post what your version looks like. Anytime I do a class, online class like this, mystery stamping, whatever, if you have created that same or similar project or a version of it, I love seeing that. I love seeing what you've done based on what I've shared. So please tag me in a post. Sometimes I don't always catch it because I do have an admin that helps me to approve all the posts that go in there. And so tag me in the post, show me what you have created. But yes, follow me on Facebook. My lives are no longer on Facebook. Facebook is making some changes, but I'm also making some changes to make my life a little easier. And we're always going to be on YouTube lives in the future. The real awesome benefit to that, there's a couple of them. Everybody can be on Facebook, and you can comment and find where you need to be ahead of time. You click on that link. Gosh, you can even click on that link a couple days before and just keep your tab open. But you can prepare your breakfast or your lunch or your dinner, sit down, be where you need to be, and no refreshing of the screen, nothing like that. It's so easy to be on a YouTube live. So I hope that you join again. I hope that you had fun. If you're interested in any of these products, the products are linked to my online store. You can make that purchase. We do have a new catalog that's going to be debuting in early May. So if you are a fan of Stampin' Up! Products, make sure that you are paying attention to all the posts I have coming up. After I get back from my trip next week, I will have new products in hand. I'll probably be doing a color comparison video. In fact, I will be. I just don't know exactly when the date will be yet. Next week, there will be no lives because I'll be out of town. But I hope that you come back and visit again. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to let you go now. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.